on, guys? What's going on? We're back again. It's breaking news involving Diddy's former butler, Fonzworth Bentley. They have been named in a lawsuit, guys, and explosive new lawsuit. If Diddy don't have enough on his plate already, he just received more news that it's a lawsuit. So, I mean, my thing is, how many cases is this man gonna get, man? This is crazy. But involving Fonzworth Bentley, folks. So that's what we got here. So I'm gonna get into that. And also we know that he got, he's the trial is going on. I'll talk more about that in a second. But yeah, I learned about this on the last live. That's why I was like, let me just sit on it for a minute and then come back. But here it is. The plaintiff, he's doing this by himself. His name is Randy Dwayne Pittman. He's the plaintiff versus Sean John, aka Puff Daddy, aka P Diddy, aka Puffy, aka Diddy. He's also suing Derek Watkins, aka Fonzworth Bentley. You said, say what? Fonzworth in the mix now? He's in the mix in a civil case. Fonzworth Bentley. So when was this filed? This was filed on the 23rd. No, wait a minute. Hold on. Yes, it was filed today. It says, this is just a little bit. On May 20, let me just make this. Actually, let me put it in landscape mode and make this a little bigger. I'm looking at it from my iPad. Factual background. So we're going to get into this. On May 23rd, 2003, Mr. Pittman. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Stop the presses. This is May 23rd now. So he waited to May 23rd to file the complaint. And he said that this event happened on May 23rd, 2003. Guys, what's going on here, man? I just wanted to note that. So he said on May 23rd, you heard it right. I'm not getting the date wrong. He said this complaint took place on May 23rd, 2003. And what's today's date? Today is the 23rd. So on May 23rd, 2003, Mr. Pittman was performing his duties as talent scout for Options Talent at Lenox Square Mall in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, hold on one second. Let me just make sure all this is done. This is crazy. So Lenox Square Mall, Atlanta, let me read it again. On May 23rd, 2003. You're hearing that right. He just filed it on the anniversary, I guess. Mr. Pittman was performing his duties as a talent scout for Options Talent at Lenox Square Mall in Atlanta, Georgia, where Sean John fashion show was being held. The plaintiff did not work for Sean John, nor was he affiliated with the fashion show. His presence at the event was solely in the capacity as a talent scout for Options Talent. During the event, the plaintiff was approached by the defendant, Derek Watkins, who is who is also known as Fonzworth Bentley, who inquired about his occupation and asked whether he knew any women who would be interested in attending the after party hosted by Sean John Combs. Watkins offered the plaintiff entry into the party on the condition that he bring female guests along. The plaintiff agreed to attempt to bring guests to the event. Following the fashion show, the plaintiff was introduced to Sean Combs, who provided him with event credentials and instructed the plaintiff to act as if he were a part of the Sean John team, including taking photographs of Combs during the event. Let's see here. Combs and Watkins later directed the plaintiff to bring two young females who were present at the event to host the event interview with Rich's department store, and then to a hotel party. The plaintiff and the two females, ages 13 and 14, were transported to the hotel by members of Combs' entourage, where the party was held and where the assaults occurred. Let me stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. It says, I have to read this again now because Fonzworth Bentley said, do you have any girls for the event? He didn't mean literally girls, man. Come on, man. He didn't mean literally girls. What is going on here? Well, hold on. Am I reading this right or I can't read, man? He said, do you have any? Okay, let me read 13 again. Combs and Watkins, who is Fonzworth Bentley, later directed the plaintiff to bring two young females who were present at the event to a post-event interview at Rich's department store and then to a hotel party. The plaintiff and the two females, 13 and 14. Stop. If he directed you to bring those young girls, why did you do that, sir? That's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm not trying to attack you here. I'm just reading the complaint. Why, sir, why? Sir, that's like trafficking, sir. Why would you do that? Like, what? I would be like, I'm not bringing them girls with me. That's what I would have been like. If this happened, I know I'm just reading the complaint. 13 and 14 were transported to the hotel by members of Combs' entourage, where a party was held and where the assaults occurred. While at the hotel, Combs and Watkins provided the plaintiff and the two minor females with alcohol and pills, described as ecstasy, and coerced them into non-consensual sex acts through intoxication, manipulation, and threats and violence. The plaintiff alleges that he and the two minor females were subjected to sexual assault, battery, and other unlawful acts by Combs and Watkins during the duration of the party. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's actions, the plaintiff suffered physical injury, severe emotional distress, psychological trauma, and lasting harm. Stop. Sir, if this really did happen, it's kind of your fault that you invited those females. Don't you think? Like, why would you invite those females though? I'm not saying like, well, why would you invite the females, fam? That's what I'm asking. Okay? That's what I'm at. I have to read this again, y'all. I have to read this again because I don't understand what I just read, yo. And I can comprehend very well. I do not understand what I just read whatsoever. If I'm just putting myself in that position. If I'm at the event and Fonzworth Bentley, I'm not saying he did it. Fonzworth, I'm not saying you did it. Hey man, hey Max, yo, you bring them girls with you, man. And what am I gonna be like? Okay, no. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But he claims that he was also assaulted along with the two minors. Oh my God, guys. I don't know what to think about this. I have to read this again. I gotta read it again. For those just coming, I gotta read it again, man. Because I'm not understanding. And look, don't this seems kind of crazy? He said that this event took place on May 23rd, 2003. And guys, today is May 23rd, 2025. Y'all, I mean, y'all, if y'all can give me a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. I have to take this brief intermission to ask for a like button. If you can do that, hit the like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. On behalf of the Max Vault. All right. On May 23rd, 2003, Mr. Pittman was performing his duties as a talent scout for Options Talent at Lenox Square Mall in Atlanta, Georgia, where a Sean John fashion show was being held. The plaintiff did not work for Sean John, nor was he affiliated with the fashion show. His presence at the event was solely in his capacity as a talent scout for Options Talent. So he said he was working for Options Talent at that time. That's it. During the event, the plaintiff was approached by the defendant, Derek Watkins, who we know as Fonzworth Bentley. I said that. It didn't say in the complaint, but Derek Watkins is Fonzworth Bentley, who inquired about his occupation and asked whether he knew any women, not children, women, if he knew any women who would be interested in attending the after party hosted by Sean John Combs. Watkins offered the plaintiff entry into the party on the condition that he bring female guests along with the plaintiff, and the plaintiff agreed and attempted to bring guests to the event. Following the fashion show, the plaintiff was introduced to Sean John Combs, who provided him with event credentials and instructed the plaintiff to act as if he were a part of the Sean John team, including taking photographs of Combs during the event. Combs and Watkins later directed plaintiff to bring two young females who were present at the event to host a post-event interview at Rich department store, and then to a hotel party. The plaintiff and the two females, ages 13 and 14, were transported to the hotel by members of Combs' entourage, where a party was held and where the assaults occurred. While at the hotel, Combs and Watkins provided the plaintiff and two minors with alcohol and pills described as ecstasy and coerced them into non-consensual sex acts through intoxication, manipulation, and threats of violence. The plaintiff alleged that he and the two minor females were subjected to sexual assault, battery, and other unlawful acts by Combs and Watkins during the duration of the party. As direct and proximate result of the defendant's actions, the plaintiff suffered physical injury, severe emotional distress, psychological trauma, and lasting harm. Okay. Sir, you are describing a crime that you took part in, allegedly. If they say allegedly, I know this is all alleged, right? If this is true, hey, bring those 13 and 14-year-olds with you. And you gonna go ahead and do it? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. But anyway, that's what's going on there. Okay. And he has filed this pro se, meaning that he is suing them on his own, folks. He is suing this on his own. We're not sure yet if he's a vexatious litigant. We don't know yet. We don't know if he's just no more than a vexatious litigant. We're gonna find out. But he has filed this pro se, meaning that he's filing this without an attorney. He's doing it himself. Okay. And he's out of California right now. But he said this happened out in Georgia. And the plaintiff is Rodney Dwayne Pittman versus Sean John Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Puffy, aka Diddy, Derek Watkins, aka Fonzworth Bentley. What y'all thinking, man? What y'all thinking over here? Because this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Yeah, so what in the world, man? If this story is true, like he's like involved in it. Yeah, you say you thinking it's some BS. No, Fonzworth is not testifying. This is a civil case that this person. What's up, Corey? You said isn't Pittman the guy in jail that keeps trying to sue Diddy? Interesting. It could be. I don't know. Yeah, guys, this ain't. I don't. In my opinion, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. In my opinion, it's not going to go anywhere. Lord have mercy, man. Anybody, man. This is. So if he tried to sue before, he's like a vexatious litigant. Okay. In other words, that means that people just be suing to be trying to sue. It's people that be suing over anything. Vexatious litigant. Craziness. I remember R. Kelly, he was at the mall one time acting like a kid. He said, yo, get her number. Yo, yeah, get her number too. Get her number. And they were like teenagers, man. Ah, that was on video, R. Kelly doing that. He said, yo, get her number. I want to get her number. Out in the mall, getting numbers. They trying to get pictures with him because he R. Kelly and he trying to get numbers. You said Diddy is about to be knocked off his pedestal. Not with this case. Not with this one. I don't believe it. I mean, I just personally don't. If this go anywhere, we'll see. But he filed pro se. He'd filed without a lawyer, without an attorney. Unbelievable, folks. Folks, this is unbelievable, man. I'm thinking, oh shoot, he got a lawsuit. I'm looking. I said, oh nah, man. This is starting to be like, it's kind of remind me of a witch hunt a little bit. Now it's just like, can I sue? Like if I ran it, I'm like, did he bump me and he grabbed me, pause, and I want 25 million. Okay, I don't have no proof or nothing, but I want 25 million. I want 25 million. I want 25 million. You know, he bumped me and grabbed my buttocks. Pause. But I want 25 million. Let me stop. It's not funny. Some people, I don't know. Some of these stories are so outlandish, man, that I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say, man. It's outrageous at this point. So next week, we know that it's been confirmed that Capricorn is going to be testifying. Okay, on Tuesday. No court Monday because of the holiday. So we're getting ready to hear from Miss Capricorn. Okay, that's getting ready to happen. So we're in extended break right now because of the holiday. So I will be back, like especially Tuesday after that testimony, to see what she has to say. You said he paid her off, but she coming Tuesday, man. KW, she coming Tuesday, man. It's already been confirmed. That's what I'm hearing on the streets. Okay. I mean, she didn't testify. It was said that she called Cassie that night and Kid Cudi said she was on speakerphone and said she's in front of your house and Diddy's in your house. And I don't know what happened with the dog. I know the dog ended up in the bathroom, locked in the bathroom. So, like I said, it's all alleged. Still, he hasn't been convicted of anything, but that's the story. That's where Capricorn come in at. And apparently she said Diddy in your house and she was nervous and, about him finding out. And how he found out, Cassie said he found out at a freak off. He took her phone, went through her messages, and saw that she was dating Kid Cudi. And he apparently became so irate, kicked her in the back, and she went running, and somehow Cudi picked up on Wilshire Boulevard. I've been there this past May. I mean, last year, May. I was up there on Wilshire Boulevard, man, kicking it. But yeah, picked up on Wilshire Boulevard, and he took her to the hotel, and just to get away from Diddy. And then they somehow, like, Diddy wanted to talk to, he was said in a calm voice. He said he wanted to talk to him. That's what Diddy said. And he was very calm about it. And he didn't want to talk to Diddy. And then somehow he ended up at her parents' house for the holiday. Okay. This is Kid Cudi. So he was, they were kind of liking each other. If he went to her parents' house, that's kind of intimate to go to your parents' house. So they did that. And then her mother took pictures of her back of the bruises, and it's a whole mess. And then his car got somehow set on fire. And afterwards, he was like, I got to talk to this guy because it's getting out of control. I got to talk to him. And he met up with him at the Soho house, right? And he said when he got there, Diddy was standing and staring out with his hands behind his back, looking like a supervillain. Okay, and people started laughing at it. Diddy didn't laugh, just a note. He did not find that funny. Everybody else did, but he didn't. And he said they talked or whatnot, and then he said they shook hands. He said the moment he braced Diddy's hand, he said that was the opportunity to inquire about what happened to his car, to look him in the eye, and he did. And Diddy said, I don't know about your car. And he was about to walk away, and then he stopped, and Diddy turned to him and said, we got beef? And we still got beef? I thought we pieced it up. And he said, no, we did. He said, okay, yeah. And that was it. And then he said months later, he ran into Diddy again at the same spot, the Soho house. And Diddy went up to him and apologized. He said, I like to apologize to you for the bullshit, all this bullshit that happened. I like to apologize to you. And he said that's when it was all good. And just to note, it was a Porsche 911 Carrera that was burned. And he couldn't get it fixed. They just wouldn't want to fix it, the insurance. So they totaled the car. The repairs would have been just too much. They just totaled it. So now you're asking yourself, how come he didn't go further with the police? He probably in his mind, he knew who did it. But let me tell you what a defense attorney said, though. He said that's not enough to tie Diddy to it. He said that. He said that's not enough. He said the problem is seeing those pictures of Cassie and seeing that video might put the jury on the side of the government. But he said if they just look at it for what it is, they can't even get him on that. Even though he said that he was going to firebomb his car, but there's nothing tying him to the crime. That's what he's saying. And that was one of the government's, in my opinion, strong case for a predicate act. But he's saying it's not so strong. That's what the defense attorney said. It's not so strong. And as a matter of fact, if I could find it, he said it's not so strong. It was interesting when he said it. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna let you guys hear it.
All right, I'm joined now by defense attorney and former prosecutor Mark Eiglarch. I always love talking to you about this. Mark, it's amazing how much angry debating is going on between lawyers, legal analysts, people who are watching the trial, reporters, as to, all of this shows that Sean Combs is a terrible guy, but it doesn't amount to RICO. I am one of the people who argues and debates that a lot of this shows RICO. And, Kid Cudi seemed to have a lot of stories that matched up with the predicate acts to RICO. Did you agree or disagree?
Well, it helped, but here was my feeling on.
Hold on. Listen to this lawyer real quick. He may not have to take the stand because he's saying that they don't have enough for the RICO. He said they don't have enough for anything. Listen.
Kid Cudi. He proved with 100% certainty, beyond all shadow of a doubt, that Diddy may have committed arson. Probably, maybe committed arson. That's not enough.
Here's the thing. If you probably think he did it, you cannot find him guilty. It ain't no probably. Ain't no probably. You have to know beyond reasonable doubt that he burned Kid Cudi's car. If you have doubt, you have to let him walk, regardless of how you feel about him or not. That's why I keep saying this. It's regardless of how we feel about him. Take your feelings out for a minute. Do you think, I'm asking you guys, do you think beyond reasonable doubt, even though he said he was going to burn Kid Cudi's car and the car somehow got turned on fire, right? Do you think in your mind beyond reasonable doubt that he had it done? Then yes, you're going to vote guilty on that charge. But if not, you cannot. If you have any kind of doubt, you can't say maybe and probably. That don't work in court. You see, no, I know the trial's not over yet. We're just going over this one point here. Yes, sir. There you go. Circumstantial evidence is enough, because sometimes you don't need the smoking gun. I was going to get to that, Africa. I was going to get, sometimes you don't need the smoking gun. It's circumstantial.
In fact, there's a reason why no one was ever arrested for that crime. No one was ever prosecuted. There's no direct evidence at all linking Sean Combs. And that's a problem. It's enough for the court of public opinion, but it's not enough for a court of law where proof beyond a reasonable doubt is required. Do we think he did it? Heck yes, we think he did it. But I don't know if that's enough to prove arson as one of those crimes that they've alleged was part of his RICO criminal enterprise.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Apart from the fact that
you heard what that lawyer said. He's a very prominent attorney. He said, heck yeah, I think he did it. But that's not enough to convict him. They got to show that he did it. Unless Capricorn gonna come out and say he did it. Unless Capricorn gonna come out and say this such and such did it. If that happens, then that could be damaging. But we have to wait and see what she's going to say. You know, that's why this is a still touchy case, right? The case is not over yet, even though this case is moving pretty fast, but it's not over yet. But yeah.
Threatened to do it before it was actually done. There's no evidence that he used a staff member or anyone in his enterprise to do that either. I was more interested in the break-in and an assistant named Capricorn Clark, who apparently Kid Cudi said, screamed to him on the phone, I was forced into a car and forced to drive with Diddy to your home where I am parked right now. And he is in there in your home right now. To me, that screamed with a receipt almost of forced labor and coercive behavior within your enterprise to commit a crime.
Yeah, it's possible. It's not enough to show he's a really bad guy. It is definitely not enough to show that he is an abuser, which they have proven beyond all doubt. They must show these crimes. I'll tell you, we got a lot of drug testimony today, and that was one of the crimes.
You heard him? He said they got to show the crimes. They have to show it. If not, you got to let them walk. You got to let them walk, man. You can't. That's how court is. Because the reason why it's like that, the reason why in criminal cases the burden is so high, because you don't want people like Khalif Browder getting accused of something and going and up in Rikers Island and getting violated and then ultimately offing himself. You don't want that to happen. You don't want innocent people to be accused and go to jail. That's why. That's why the burden is so high. The government right now, they have the highest burden, not Diddy. They have to prove that he did this beyond reasonable doubt. Even though we might think he did it. We might think he did it, right? They have to prove it. They have to prove that he did it. Even though we're like, damn, he did it. See, that's why in court, they don't find you innocent. They find you not guilty. You can be guilty and you could be not guilty and no, hold on. You could be not guilty and guilty at the same time. You could be found, you could be found not guilty, but you really did it, but the evidence didn't prove it. That's why it's very crucial when you fight in the government to have very good lawyers, because the average person, they don't have attorneys like Tenny Garagos, Mark Garagos as a confidant. You know what I'm saying? Brian Steele. Everybody don't have that type of defense. He has that type of defense. That's why he's going up against him, even though we know that the trial is still going on. But I'm listening to what this attorney is saying.
That was alleged. So you got that. You got potentially this arson where, again, you know, the difference between OJ, for example, is most jurors still thought he was a good guy for the most part. He was the guy running through the airport. You know, people gave him the benefit of the doubt. The minute they showed the video with him treating Cassie like his own pinata, they immediately shifted. There was no presumption of innocence. They hated this guy, and every day we're getting more reasons to hate him. So in a close call, they're going to err on the side of the government. So,
all right, stop right there. See, that's why I'm saying this is dangerous. He articulated what I wanted to say because I can't articulate it right. They're going to hate him for that. They may. So, and he said in a close call, in a photo, this is going to come down to a photo finish, guys. This is coming down. This is a marathon, and it's coming down to a photo finish. It's coming down to a photo finish. If they hate him, they might be on the side of he did it. But for me, that's not enough. That's not enough for me to convict him. You have to prove to me that this man did it. You got to prove it, whether I like him or not. You got to prove to me that he did it. If not, I have to let him walk. I have to let him go. Remember, the government has the highest burden. In criminal cases, the burden is very high. A civil case is the preponderance of evidence. Is it likely to be true? That's civil case. The burden is not so high. The burden is high here. That's why, like I said, I'm sorry for the commentary. I know people want him to go away. We're going to see. I don't have no sides here. I'm not taking no sides. You know what I'm saying? They have to prove it beyond reasonable doubt. They have to. The burden is very high. And Brian Steele and them, they're going to make sure that they give him the best representation possible. And like I said, both sides, I love to see the lawyers do their business. This is like, I'm like a kid in a candy store, man. I've been following trials since Aaron Hernandez, and I'm in the big boy court. I'm literally in the federal court in the Southern District of New York, watching these lawyers do their business. It's beautiful to watch, man. These lawyers that he got, they all that in a bag of chips. They all of it. I'm telling you, they are. When I saw them walk by, they all look like $1 million. Presentation is everything. I told y'all before the trial, he has to have at least 9 lawyers at that table suited and booted. And guess what he did? He got 9 lawyers at that table suited and booted, looking like $1 million. Presentation is everything. He don't even, I know people are saying that he might want to testify. He might not. He might not have to. Because remember, if he don't testify, the judge will admonish the jury and say that you can't hold that against him because he has a constitutional right to remain silent. And the burden is not on him. The burden is on the government. That's what they're going to tell the jury. He has a constitutional right to remain silent. That's why I'm ping-ponging back and forth. If you notice, I'm ping-ponging because I'm giving you my opinion as I see it every day. So it's like I'm going back and forth. That's how it is in Detroit. You're going back and forth. Okay, they had a good day today. Okay, they had a good day. But remember what Brian Steele said. He said there was the DNA found was a woman. It wasn't a male. But then I keep saying, well, damn, okay, it was a female. Maybe he had somebody do it. But listen to what I just said. I said maybe. That's not enough to convict him. If I say maybe, that's not enough to convict that man. That's not enough. It can't be maybe. I have to know he did it. I have to know. And trust me, it don't always have to be a smoking gun. Just like somebody said, it's circumstantial. But even if it's circumstantial, and if I still got maybe in my vocabulary, he has to walk. Just like some people think OJ did it, right? But he had to walk. But OJ, listen, that case right there made me actually want to study law. I just couldn't afford to go. I wish I could have, but I just couldn't afford it. I'm keeping it real with you. The blood that they found at OJ residence, properties in that blood, the human body does not create. That means it was placed there. That's why he got acquitted. It wasn't if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. It was the blood. Barry Shep, Peter Neufeld. Okay? They were responsible for him walking. Okay? I mean, I have to just name them all for you, man. Because this is what got me back in 1995. That trial lasted so long. I still remember it like it was to this day. That's why I fell in love with the law. Because the reason why I fell in love with the law is I go back to George Stenney. All lawyers know who George Stenney is. Everybody does. He was the youngest to be executed in the United States. He was the youngest. He was a child. He was a child, and he was executed in this country, and he didn't do it. Emmett Till did not do it. That's why I think everybody should know something about the law. At least you have a right to remain silent. And here's one thing that we didn't hear yet. Maybe we will hear it. When Diddy got arrested, where's the interrogation video? I don't think we had one. I don't think we had one because he knows to remain silent. He knows to remain silent. Even though it don't look good, he knows to remain silent. I don't see no interrogation video yet. Maybe it is one. Maybe it's not. If it's not one, we already know he kept his mouth shut because his lawyers told him to do that. Robert Shapiro, Johnny Cochran, F. Lee Bailey, Alan Dershowitz, Robert Kardashian, rest in peace, Carl E. Douglas, Gerald Ullman, Barry Shep, Peter Neufeld. That was the dream team. That was the best team ever assembled. I promise you this. I promise you this. I got chills naming their names. I got chills. It was the best thing I have ever seen. Did you know that a lot of these lawyers, they're still being studied in law school to this day? That was the best team ever that money could buy. Diddy might be number 2. I'm getting chills when I say it. Diddy might be number 2. I'm watching these lawyers go about their business. I even seen them when they get off the I still hear, I saw them come off. I said, man, these guys look like $1 million. He got some real good representation. When I saw Westmoreland get up there and go about her business, guys, you had to be there to see it. She sat there and she sat there and talked to Dawn in such a way. Guess what? I don't believe Dawn no more. I don't believe her. So I'm going to nix her testimony. I nixed it out. I haven't seen a lawyer do that in a long time. That was crazy what she did. She just sat up there and read that woman her rights. It was crazy. Everybody was like, oh my God, would she please stop? Listen, that lady, she pulled out. Diddy had to be satisfied with her, yo. He had to. And then Brian still, first of all, Brian still went first and then she did. Brian still just, man, he's a really, 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 really good attorney. He's what these attorneys think outside the box. I never forget what Ted Wells said. He's a very prominent attorney out of New Jersey. He's actually Scooter Libby's lawyer, if you remember. He said he was asked the question, what makes a good lawyer? A lawyer that is well researched. You got to know how to do research. You got to know how to think outside the box to advocate for your client. And that's what he says makes a good lawyer. I never forget him saying that. Johnny Cochran said it too. You got to think outside the box. And even when they selected the jury with OJ case, it was perfect. Perfect. It was perfect. That jury deliberated in no time at all. Did you know I turned a different age by the time that trial was over? That's how long it lasted. Like I said, Robert Shapiro, Johnny Cochran, rest in peace. F. Lee, Johnny Cochran, he represented Snoop Dogg as well in his trial and got him off and got Diddy off the first trial. Remember Diddy with Shine? That was Johnny Cochran. F. Lee Bailey, Alan Dershowitz, Robert Kardashian. That's the Kardashians' father. Carly Douglas, Gerald Ullman, Barry Shep, and Peter Neufeld, excuse me. And Barry Shep was very instrumental in the Dream Team. Why? Because he's an expert in DNA evidence. Also, Peter Neufeld, he worked alongside Shep in forensic and DNA related aspects of the case. That's what got him off. You mean to tell me that blood placed at his residence had properties in that blood that the body doesn't produce? It was placed there. And then, we had Johnny Cochran closing. If it don't fit, you must have quit. One of the best closing arguments I have ever witnessed in my life was Jose Baez, Aaron Hernandez. I have never seen nothing like it. When he was standing there before the state was over, he was praying. When it was time for him to go, he was saying a prayer to himself. I'll never forget it. And then he stood up and he said he was waiting for the judge to acknowledge him. And the judge said, "Oh, you can go." He said, "May I please the court?" And the judge, "Oh, you can go." He's like, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your time. I'm Jose Baez. I'm the attorney for Aaron Hernandez." And he got that man off, yo. The reason why he got him off, he spent a lot of time hammering home what reasonable doubt is. He spent about a good 35, I don't know how many minutes. He also had presentations as well. Everything was impeccable. Even with the presentation, the card presentation, everything was impeccable. And I never forget, I told guys after that closing, I said, he didn't do it. They said, well, he may have done it, but they don't have enough evidence. There's some doubt there. He's innocent. I mean, he's not guilty. And then it's like, nah, Max, you crazy. That jury came back and said we had a verdict, not guilty. That was, I was like, this dude don't perform two miracles. The first one was Casey Anthony. That was the first one. I remember I was at work and it was divided because people like, everybody knew she was guilty, right? I said, no, he created some doubt. I have doubt now. After listening to him, they said, no, she's going to be found guilty. I said, no, she's not. Watch this. She was found not guilty. All except for one charge, but that didn't carry jail time. I'll never forget that. I said, this dude is Johnny Cochran-esque. He's Johnny Cochran-esque. And then I found another one. Brian Steele. I found another one. He's just like him. Brian Steele is really good, man. And then I started doing some research on his other lawyers. They're all good. Every last one of them. I started doing some research here because I never seen them do their business live. But I actually started doing some research and stuff like that on cases that they were on and how and things and, articles they written. These people are really good, man. He got the best lawyers that money could buy. Unfortunately, that's not like that for all of us. Not a lot of us can't afford a Brian Steele or a Mark Agnifilio or a Nicole Westmoreland. We can't afford it. Or Xavier Donaldson. We can't afford that. So that's why people take the deals. I see why he's taking this to the box now. I see it. I almost see the blueprint and where they're going. I almost see it now. That's why this is going to come to a photo finish. Now, on the other side, they are really good, y'all. Comey, she's good as advertised. Oh, yes. That's James Comey's daughter, the former FBI director. Oh, yes. She's good as advertised. And her crew. They're good as advertised, man. So that's why it's like for me, I'm actually watching them go about their business. And even the judge, he's one of the best judges I have ever seen. so far, going about his business. Also, the other judge was really. I have some really favorite judges that I have witnessed. Um, out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, the Daryl Brooks judge. She's really good. I give her high praise as well. The judge for Robert Durst in the Robert Durst trial, he's really good. So there's a lot of judges that I know that just really good. He's up there, man. And I should have known he was a clerk for the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He was the youngest elected to the Southern District of New York, the judge in this case. So this is like just watching them just go about their business and stuff like that and how they prepared. It's just something to see, man. What's going to happen in this case? I don't know. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I'm here. It's like I'm watching history. I wasn't there for the OJ case, but I'm here for this one. And the OJ case was a matter of history. It was historic. That was a historic case. It was. This is one of them. Because this is a RICO that is a different type of RICO. This is a RICO that some people don't even understand, really. Because some people are, if you're one of those people where you're battling, like, how is he a criminal enterprise? I understand. I understand why you think that. But I'm telling you right now, if they get this man off, we have now crowned. I'm putting him on Mount Rushmore. All of them, every last one of them, especially Nicole Westmoreland. Her price just went up. After her cross-examination, I know her price went up. Her price just went up. Her price just went up, man. She is nothing to play with. Tinny Garagos either. She's nothing to play with. None of them. Mark Agnifilio, none of them. They're nothing to play with. So he did waste he spared no expense in his defense. No expense. He spared none. And it seemed like it's working. But we'll see what happens in the end. I will see you at the finish line. I will be there outside reporting, letting you know what happened. Yeah, today's price is what do you say? That price ain't yesterday. But well, hold on. Let's just say their price just went up, man. They worth it. They worth every penny. Both sides are. Even Comey, both sides. Her team too. They worth every penny. You said you had to Google Westmoreland, and when after I saw her cross-examination and the young, you didn't see her in the Young Thug trial? She's from the Young. Her and Brian Steele work together. That's where people remember her from. And she ain't no joke. But she really, man, this woman is on center stage in federal court just doing her thing. Oh, and then what's the other lawyer that Diddy has? What's his name, guy? The one that y'all said was being messy in court. He was hilarious. It was no fucks given with him. No fucks given. What's his name? He said she's a petite lady too. Celebrity Scandalous. Yeah, Celebrity Scandalous talked to her when she was going into the meeting room. She said hello to her. What is that lawyer name, man? The one everybody said, man, this guy's being messy. But he was effective. He was doing his thing. I tell you that much. So, yeah, his lawyers ain't no joke, man. Wait to the closing arguments. Now, here's why this is crazy. Remember this, guys. The government goes first in the closing. The defense goes second, and the government gets to go again. I believe that's how it works. That's how it is in the state. So the defense got one shot at it, but they probably gonna have to hammer home reasonable doubt. They got to hammer that home. It don't matter if you don't like somebody. Yes, the videos is terrible, but if you got doubt, that man got to walk. He got to walk. He got to walk. Yeah, his name is Bach. His last name is Bach, man. Oh my God. I was like, who is this standing up? Man, he was just sitting there it was no fucks given with him. No fucks given, man. Yeah, it was Bach. So just Ryan know how much, man, like I'm excited about. I'm not excited that somebody may have to go away for the rest of their life. I'm not excited that Puff is on trial. Not for him. I'm excited just to watch the lawyers do their business. Not excited that he could potentially go away. That's not what I'm excited about. I'm not excited. That could be me sitting there. I'm not excited. But if he did do it, if he did it, he did it. If what he did, what they accuse him of, is what it is. But I'm just telling you, I ain't taking no sides, man. I'm not taking no sides, man. But I'm gonna tell you, these lawyers are preparing both sides. They probably preparing right now. They probably taking a little break. I mean, today they should. But you might see them making updates, so they might be at work right now. But you know they got a long weekend. You said Choke No Joke said that Biggie was stealing from Diddy, writing songs for other artists, and putting the credits in his daughter's name, so Puff wouldn't get the royalties. I heard Big Gene say that. Oh, and I don't know, I forgot to tell y'all this. Y'all probably already know this. Diddy holiday, Biggie's birthday was a holiday for Diddy. None of his people worked on Biggie's birthday. And the lawyer said to him, he said, you know, today is Biggie's birthday, right? You would have been off today, right? And he said, yeah, actually I would have. His employees never worked on Biggie's birthday. He considered it a holiday. I forgot to tell y'all that. If you don't know, you probably already know. No, it's not stealing. According to Gene and Puff, didn't know about it. Oh, as a matter of fact, Big Gene was there Friday. He was in the overflow room with me. He walked in. I was sitting in the back. He actually looked my way because I was sitting there, Black Rob's sister, Miss Knockout. So I was there. We was just sitting there going over notes and stuff, talking, like discussing the trial and stuff. She don't blew up on TikTok, by the way. She blew up over there, man. So her main thing is TikTok. She go live outside the courthouse after it's all said and done, and conduct her business that way. But even me and her were talking. She said she was tired. She said, dog, Max, she said, you go live every day? I said, just about. She said, it's tiresome, man. I'm tired. I said, the only reason why you're tired is because we have to go to the courtroom every day. And we have to sit through the testimony and stuff like that. And we rigorously taking notes. That could get tiresome. So that's why you're tired. So I just wanted to say that right there. I want to go back for a second. As far as the RICO. And you guys tell me, like, okay, so we already know it's the RICO. It's the acronym for Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. It's a federal law enacted in 1970 as part of the Organized Crime Control Act. It was originally designed, as you guys know, to combat organized crime, especially the mafia at that time. But it has since been used broadly. Key points of the RICO: the purpose, to target and dismantle criminal enterprises by going after leaders who order or benefit from crimes. They didn't personally commit the criminal acts. So let me stop right there. So if the jury believes, even though Puff may have not did the arson, do they believe he had somebody do it? They're going to find him guilty on it. But it has to be beyond reasonable doubt. So elements required for the RICO case: to bring a federal RICO charge, prosecutors must prove, they have to prove this now. This is what they must prove: a criminal enterprise exists. They have to prove this during the trial to the jury, not us, the jury. The defendant was associated with or employed by the enterprise. The defendant engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity. The pattern includes at least 2 predicate offenses within a 10-year period. All they have to do is prove 2 predicate acts within offenses within a 10-year period. That's all they have to do, and they got them on a RICO. Predicate offenses, the types of crimes. RICO allows prosecution for a variety of crimes. Okay, remember I said they have to find him on 2 predicate acts. Is it murder? How about kidnapping? Bribery? How about fraud, whether it's mail, wire, securities, or etc.? How about drug trafficking, money laundering, extortion, sex trafficking? Penalties, up to 20 years per RICO count, or life if the predicate crime allows it. Fines. This is why it's very important for Diddy. Forfeiture of assets, money, property, businesses gained through criminal activity. Civil lawsuits, victims can sue for triple damages. Common uses today, now get this, against street gangs, corrupt police. This is what we're used to, street gangs, corrupt police departments, corporate fraud schemes, and recently, watch this, and recently, entertainers and public figures accused of operating criminal enterprises. Sean Diddy Combs is facing a federal RICO Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organizations Act. Charges due to allegations. They're still just allegations, just let y'all know. He hasn't been convicted, so they're just allegations that he led a criminal enterprise over 2 decades involving serious crimes such as sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Prosecutors assert that Combs used his influence and resources to exploit and abuse women, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Stop right there. So let's go back. That's important. They said he used his influence and resources to exploit and abuse women, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Now they're trying to say he concealed his conduct. So that's what they're trying to get him on. Sex trafficking and coercion. Combs is accused of orchestrating drug-fueled sex parties, referred as freak-offs, where women were allegedly coerced and forced into sexual acts. These events reportedly involve manipulation, threat of violence. Now, here's the thing. Remember going back to the hotel video. Cassie is saying that she was leaving a freak off. That's why the video is, I guess, relevant, right? Some people are saying, well, Max, that's a domestic act. He should have went to jail for at least a state crime. That's domestic. I get it. But they charging him with racketeering. So they're using that because they're saying that she was leaving a freak off, and that's what happened. So yeah, but that's what we that's what it is right there. That's what he's being charged with. So that's what they have to go with. Now they're also saying violence and intimidation. Rapper Kid Cudi testified that Combs broke into his home and later his Porsche and destroyed by Molotov cocktail. Incidents allegedly linked to Combs' jealousy over Cudi's relationship with Cassie Ventura. Now, do they believe that Combs had somebody do it, or they believe that he did it himself? That's up to the jury. Patterns of abuse. Cassie Ventura, Combs' former partner, and other witnesses have testified about a long-standing pattern of physical abuse, manipulation, and threats by Combs. Under the RICO statute, prosecutors must demonstrate that the defendant committed at least 2 acts of racketeering activity within a 10-year period as part of an ongoing criminal enterprise. The charges against Combs allege a consistent pattern of criminal behavior over a significant period, fitting the criteria for RICO prosecution. So that's what they got to prove here. Was it a criminal enterprise? And they have to prove two acts over a 10-year period. Can they prove that? I don't know, and it's up to the jury. You mean, can they prove it to the jury? Not me. It doesn't matter what I say. That's what I have to give you this disclaimer. My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing we're doing this for the purpose of conversation. But my opinion doesn't matter. The only opinion that matters is the jury. That's it. My opinion doesn't matter at all. I have to keep saying that because it's true. I'm not on the jury. I'm not privy to what they're watching in the deliberation room. Okay, so whatever the jury comes up with, the jury comes up with. But this is a kind of a back and forth case. Some people, it just depends, it just depends. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, yeah, what can you do? Yeah, so that's I will have a call in later on tonight. I don't have it now. And I got to be careful with the call-ins because I can't have nobody I can't afford nobody saying nothing out of pocket because I got to go to federal court every day. And they listening. Just to let you know. I had people there already ask me for my page. They was like, hey, what do? You come here every day. What do you do? And I said, I do a video vlog. I've been following Charles Aaron Hernandez. Oh, really? Yeah, okay, let me see. Yeah, they didn't believe me. They really didn't, because I don't look like I'm a vlogger. I really don't. I'm very like people judge me until I open my mouth. They do. One lady said I look like Suge Knight, man. It's hilarious. I guess it's because the beard or something. I don't know. I don't look like Suge Knight, but she said this. But I don't look like I'm into law like that. I know the law very, very well. I do. I know enough of it to be quiet if something happened. I bet you that. And federal court is scary to some people, but for me, it's not. It's almost like I told Ryan, it's almost like I'm at Yankee Stadium for legal stuff. I'm in the big boy court. This is like Yankee Stadium to me. Like I am in a kid in a candy store. I get to see the lawyers go about their business every day and how they, how they go about their questions. How are they asking their questions? Different things like that. I get to sit there and witness every day. And I get the vlog on it. So I'm happy. Now, it was a shout out to this one dude outside the courtroom. He's vlogging. I think he's on Instagram. He said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't go up in that right there. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring your hammers in there. Now, he's sitting up there selling wolf tickets. He sure is. I think he lying. You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he really giving it to him on that camera. He really is. He got the whole, but he's pointing the camera at everybody. Like, so you walk by, he'll point that camera at you. So, and he's talking, he's doing his commentary, but everybody do it their own way. So he's doing his commentary outside the courtroom, right? But he was like, yeah, I can't go up in that piece. He said, that's feds. He said, that's the feds right there. That's what he said. He said, that's the feds. I said, you ain't do nothing wrong. Why can't you come in? It's open to the public. But that's how I see it, man. I really enjoy watching them do their business. Well, they said this is not even the most craziest case. They said when Trump was around, that was crazy. They said it was mad people out here. And you couldn't get in the courtroom because, the Secret Service. You couldn't get close to him. Remember, at the time, he was a former sitting president of the United States. So he's not regular. He's not a regular person. So that's, and Weinstein is across the street. Nobody even talking about Weinstein. Weinstein don't got himself another case. I mean, got him another trial. That's how much action he got in court. He got him another trial, and we're not even worried about him. So what I'm saying is, it's just something to see, man. Just seeing these lawyers go about their business is really something to see. And if you're into legal stuff, it's really just how they go about it, man. The judge is awesome in this case. He's doing things. I think in my mind, he's doing a really good job. I think they need to take a little bit more breaks. That's just my opinion, but they're trying to get it done. They do let us out at 3 p.m. now, so I can't hate on that, because as soon as they let me out, I'm off to my car to beat that rush hour. So I do give them that. They are letting the jury out at 3 p.m. now. So, and he said they're on time to finish on time, and I guess he wants them to finish before the 4th of July. So we'll see if it goes past the 4th of July, it goes past 4th of July, but I'm thinking it might not. So we'll see. It's kind of moving fast for me. You said at the what? You said, is Cassie the only woman at the freak off? That's the only thing we've seen so far. We haven't seen testimony from nobody else yet. So there is a Jane Doe that's supposed to testify. So we have to wait and see. You said the same feds who charged Al Capone. So now, yeah, Al Capone, man. Come on, man. Al Capone, man. You know, the Fed is crazy. That's the big boy court. That's how they say it. The feds. It's the big boy court. It's not the Supreme. That's the Supreme Court is the highest court. But and they also have like sketches of it's really cool to walk through the hallway, folks. They have sketches of famous trials, courtroom sketches, and then you can read up on the trial. I do that every day. I try to read one every day. They had the one of the terrorists up in there trial that bombed the federal building. That bombed one building. I forget what it was. They had that sketch in there. I was reading that Friday. But you said, imagine when Kid Cudi said Diddy was looking like a Marvel villain, and the prosecutor's like, you mean this Marvel villain? Oh, and they showed a Joker video. Yo, I would have hit the floor. The guards would have had to tell me to go outside. They would have to tell me to go out in the hallway, because I wouldn't stop laughing. Yeah, Diddy is going to be on the wall. Yes, his sketches are going to be on the wall for sure. It's a very historic case. You know, the crazy thing for him, it's a gift and a curse. He really is a big deal. He really is. He's not normal. This man literally was moving around like James Bond, man. That's how much money he had. He really was not a normal person. And the reason why I say that, I wasn't really checking for Diddy like that. I knew he did social media, and I knew he had an Instagram, but I wasn't really like checking for him, to be honest with you, until that video came out of Cassie, and then that apology video. Then I started following him really more closely. And then I saw that he was putting out a lot of videos on YouTube. I just wasn't really checking for him like that. So, yeah, he was like quiet for me. I didn't know, like, I just wasn't checking for. I knew that he was bad boy and all that, but I wasn't checking for him. Somebody I went to grammar school with, I know him since grammar school, like high school. He worked for Bad Boy in the 90s. He was a cameraman. He worked for him in the 90s. He never said nothing bad about him. And now he's a photographer in New York City. So, and he got on his Facebook, Bad Boy still. So, a lot of people have crossed that path of Mr. P. Diddy. We know him as Puffy. I think 50 still call him Puffy or Puff. Why did he call it Bad Boy? Oh, you said now you know why he called it Bad Boy. I don't know. Bad boy, come out and play. Dun, 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 dun. He said, because he's a bad boy, I guess. But you mean to tell me he did all because of the freak off? Just the fact that he called it a freak off is crazy. And everybody thought it was drugs in the baby oil. Remember, ain't no drugs in the baby oil. He just like baby oil. He just like baby oil. And I know people like, he must have had drugs in that baby oil. No, he did not. And so, in fact, sometimes Cassie had to go to the store and get baby oil because they ran out. Okay. And he's not he had to have that baby. Everywhere he went, he had some baby oil. I'm talking about the Johnson & Johnson baby oil, the pink bottle. That's the baby oil he had. Sometimes he had the one in the beige label. He had that one too. Okay. Sometimes he used to send the man to Walgreens to go get some baby oil, man. Okay. And imagine if you the assistant. You gotta clean up the room after it's all done. You got to get the room back tidy so that when the hotel come in, they don't bill him too much because he don't messed up the place. Imagine that was your job. Okay. You got to get rid of all the baby oil and the Astroglide, everything else. Think about that. But here's the thing. I don't judge him. That's his thing. If he like baby oil, he like baby oil. I'm not judging him for that. But goddamn, we gotta sit up there and listen to that. That's crazy. But guys, I'm out of here. I gotta head on out. But guys, that's Fonzworth Bentley. Now the guy don't name Fonzworth Bentley. You said how much he paid to do that dirty work? I think he said he got like 100 and some thousand for like 4 or 5 months. That guy. But the other guy, I think he said he got 75,000 a year. And they trying to get him on forced labor, I guess, because he said he worked 20 hours a day. Dude, to work 20 hours a day, that's crazy work in itself. 20 hours, only 24 hours in a day. So when he had time to wash his ass, he said, Puff, when I had to get him whatever he needed when he needed it. And he said he had to know what Puff was thinking that he needed. And he said he also had to provide Puff with options because Puff might want options. What the fuck? That sound like Puff. You remember from Making in the Band? He said, y'all got to go walk for that cheesecake. And he said, why y'all sitting here still talking, man? Y'all supposed to be walking with your head up going to get that cheesecake, man. Oh, man. That dude is hilarious. It's craziness. He said he had to be there when Puff woke up. He said he had to be there already before he wakes up. He said he made sure that the food is going. He had to make sure his favorite TV show is on. His favorite TV station is on. Okay. Make sure his schedule is planned out. Everything is good. And then he go wake him up like he King Joffrey, man. He was living like King Joffrey, man, from Coming to America. That's how he was living. Everybody, he had servants for everything. Oh, you just came from Junior's? Yeah, he said it was a kingdom. They said, how would you like to work for his kingdom? The fuck? I'm like, is this a cult? It's like a cult. Because he said he had a big picture of Diddy on the wall, right? She was like, how would you like to join Diddy's kingdom? I would have walked out at that point. I don't know, guys. I don't know if he was paying good. I think I could work 20 hours for at least a good hot 2 months, maybe 3, just to get the money real quick. Now, do I have to set up the hotel? I might have to, because Diddy said, remember in an interview, he said when he go to a hotel, he had to set it up to be sexy. He said he got to get this. It has to get sexy. You know what I'm saying? He said he liked candles. He said, see what I'm saying? I like candles. And then go look at his interview. He said it. He said, well, he can't just, he said he just can't walk into a hotel bare. His people had to already been there already to get it sexy for him. He said this. He said, you got to have a hotel. See what I'm saying? He said, the nice essential oils. Fuck, Diddy lying. He's sitting up there playing in our face talking about essential oils. It's baby oil. See, that's what I thought. I thought it was with his kind of money, he'd be having all essential oils and shit like that. No, he want baby oil because that's what he know to go to. Baby oil, Johnson and Johnson. Okay, the pink baby oil. I got some right now. I can't even. I look crazy with this baby oil, man. I got baby oil in my bag, the Johnson and Johnson one, because that's my go-to if I got like ashy skin. Because sometimes I be ashy Larry going to court, man. Let me put some of this baby oil on my hands so it can be glistening. Okay, let me put some of this baby oil on. But that baby oil break me out. Like I tried it before, like oiling my whole self up with baby oil. Bullshit, it break me out down there. It sure do. It ain't meant for it to be in your lower extremities. Put it that way. It ain't meant. So no wonder she was catching these UTIs left and right. It was that damn baby oil. That's what it was. It ain't meant to go down and up in there. It's not. Even I know that, and I'm not a woman. And I know that. I know that much. Okay? All men should know that if you had a girlfriend before. That baby oil ain't meant to go down there like that. It was, oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, I know he's sitting there like, Lord. They just going in all my business. Lord have mercy. And then they didn't have to go there with the semen. They didn't have to do that. We didn't have to hear that, man. They really didn't have to. I think that's just the prosecutors being petty. We didn't have to know all that. They being petty, man. But anyway, man, guys, I'm out of here. I will catch you later. Thanks for joining. And I will see you soon. I will be back at court Tuesday. But as we know, they were off today. And they're off Monday because of the holiday. But we will be back at some point tonight. I'll be back. You said right. They're trying to they're trying to humiliate him, dog. We didn't need to know that about the semen. They're trying to humiliate him. But his lawyers are fighting back, though. They are. They because I like what Brian still says. So she basically played both of you, right? And he's trying to, knock at her character. I know what he's doing. And Cuddy said, yeah. I got played. He said that. Yeah, they trying to humiliate him, dog. We didn't have to know all that. Okay, it's implied that something is going on with it if they quickly go in the other room. You could have spared us the details. But she is, they kind of doing that to be doing, I guess. I don't know. How is that little detail needed to see if he's guilty or not? We don't need that detail, you know what I'm saying? But hey, man, I'm not the lawyer. So that's just me. But it's just, I feel like it's still just getting started because they're saying that Capricorn is supposed to be Tuesday. So we're going to see what Capricorn got to say, man. And I'll be back. But I'll be back before that to talk about something else. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, y'all.